What's poppin'? It's your boy Janto here, and boys and girls. DD, we don't discriminate, but everyone don't matter. But listen, today, we gotta go over a very special, important topic. Now, as you all may know, I already made a guide on how to become the ultimate harem protagonist. Cause that's me. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. The only one for me is Rieri. But listen, if I could, I'd do it. Why? Because I'm just built different. You already know I'm built different. Who built like me? I don't know. And none of you guys know either, because I don't know. But listen, we gotta go over a very important guide today. And that is, of course, what is the difference between a real, straight up protagonist and some garbage, and some fake, stupid protagonists? Listen, guys. And this isn't exclusive to shonen. I think this should go for every single category. What makes a protagonist feel real? Now listen, one day I might make some super serious, detailed video when I could actually afford editing software, but right now, you got the real 100% uncut footage of me spitting facts right now. And listen, I got some examples for you. Listen, I think the most obvious fake protagonist ever that you'll probably get is probably Kirito. And you know what I'm saying? And listen, I know a lot of people say no with, Alicization and War of Underworld just ending. Listen, if you want my personal thoughts, say what you want about Season 2. I didn't think Season 2 was that bad, especially Mother Rosario arc, but the protagonist was Asuna, so, there's that. But also, I actually like Season 3 and so on. I think Alicization was good. I did like it. And War of Underworld as well, although there's some questionable stuff in War of Underworld, to say the least, and Alicization, but it's not nowhere near perfect, but, it's not bad. But Season 1, I think a lot of people nowadays admit, was pretty bad. And listen, I'm not one to jump on the whole SAO, hate bandwagon. I know a bunch of people, these days, they watch those old YouTube videos, they're like, bro, SAO was so garbage, bro, I can't believe I liked it. Listen, I actually like some aspects of SAO. Why? Because first of all, I love MMORPGs. Like, seriously, I mean, Genshin just came out, and if my computer wasn't hot garbage, I'd play it a lot more because it's really fun. But, I just love, the RPGs, whatever it be, I've been playing them for a long time, and having an anime around one is pretty cool. But listen, Kirito, is some whack. And, I think his progression from Season 2 and then on, is much better. But Season 1, I would describe him as a saltine cracker with no salt. He is stale, dry cracker. And why? Well, first of all, there's many reasons why he's a dry, stale cracker. First of all, this man gets the easiest harem I've ever seen in my life. What does this man do? What does this man do to deserve it, man? This man got Asuna, Elizabeth, Silica, even though she a lolly, it's still part of the harem. Listen, he even got Sachi before she, But listen, what did this man do to obtain this harem? He did whack. He ain't doing nothing. But listen, Progressive's about to come out soon, so hopefully, they deepen it, cause there's no progression, there's no character progression with them. They skip so much stuff, they be skipping months and like years even, in like a couple episodes. And then suddenly this man has a harem. Like, I think that's just the issue with the show's pacing. But also, you didn't show nothing of Kirito, despite him being the MC. We don't know anything about this dude. We just know he plays video games, and his father or his grandfather beat him while practicing kendo. That's it. This man is a stale cracker, and suddenly you're in this situation where it's kill or be killed, and you could just straight up, die. Anytime, any place. You know, the only difference between the virtual and the real world is this virtual world's an RPG. It's incredibly dangerous. So you got this dude, straight up, 12-inch dong, swinging this sword around like he's the second coming of Jesus, man. Just straight go. Guys, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know, and I can't relate to this dude at all. In fact, I'm jealous of him. If I was Kirito, man, I could probably get Rieri easily. It's just facts. It's just facts. This man could get anyone he wants easily. Seriously. Second part of season 1 comes in, and next thing you know, you got elves and catgirls on this man's dong. Like, what? Like, you have this lack of character progression, you know, and development. And, you know, you don't really see him go through much. And the things he does go through, he forgets instantly. Listen, this man saw Sachi die right in front of him. And then next episode, he's helping out a lolly. Like, what? Like, you know, I hope Progressive fixes this stuff, because that's probably my biggest issue with SAO. The pacing is terrible. And, you know, you put, like, a 2 to 3 year journey in 12 episodes. Obviously, it's not going to work, so hopefully that fixes it up. But listen, we were talking about what makes a great antagonist, or protagonist, you know? And really, I think the best quality is that they feel real, you know? They feel like real people. Kirito doesn't feel like a real person. This man feels like a god. Like a god that was born on Earth. Listen, I want my protagonists, you know, to be real people, make decisions that real people might make, and make them some sort, you know, somewhat relatable, but also quirky. You know, be unique. You know, don't just be like every other Joe Schmo. Every other Joe Schmo is relatable because they're regular, and most people are regular. That's why they relate to them. But, you know, relatable people can also go above and beyond. And listen, some examples like that, you know, we got my boy Gon, you know, and, you know, I'm not saying that super heroic, you know, trait can't work, but, you know, a lot of the time, a lot of your real protagonists are going to be somewhat heroic, you know, they're gonna have a good moral compass, but they won't do everything themselves, you know, like, they're not gonna go out of their way, you know, to save the world if it isn't even in doom, you know, like, if it's not gonna have any consequences on them, you know, why do it in the first place, right? Now listen, you got my boy Gon, right? And the thing with Gon is, you know, he has a good moral compass, you know, he really does. He likes to help people, you know, he's just a kid, he likes to help people just like his auntie taught him. But at the same time, he is stupid and incredibly impressionable. And throughout the series, you see that from the time he leaves Whale Island in the first episode to go to the Hunter exam, all the way to the end of the Chimera Ant arc, you know, to the end of the anime, you see just how impressionable he is, and also how stupid he can be at the same time, you know. You know, at the beginning, you know, and even towards the end, you see he has a good moral compass, but towards the end, you see how the world of hunters really corrupts him. And the thing is, the world of hunters is brutal. They don't care how old you are. You could be a 5-year-old, and if you're deadly enough, they'll just go straight out and kill you, kill your whole family, kill everyone, you know, because that's just how it is, you know, that's just how it works. And, you know, it's sad to see, you know, that Gon is strong enough to survive in it, because you see all the effects it has on him. Seriously, he has like an assassin that's been trained for years as his best friend, and, you know, at the same time, you understand his struggles, because realize he's a little kid, you know, he's still a kid, he's like 12 or something. And the thing is, he's not very smart either. You know, Killua is smart because he's been trained as an assassin for years. He has that maturity in his blood, in his Zoldyck blood. But Gon is, you know, he's young, he's never had to struggle that much. You know, he's pretty much born with all of his athleticism because his dad is a beast, you know. And you see the effects it has on him, all the way to his selfishness in the Chimera Ant arc, and, you know, how he grows, and eventually how he turns into Big Daddy Gon, you know, how that affects him. And, you know, when I see that, you know, I can't say that, you know, towards the end that I can't really like Gon as much, but the thing is, I feel him as a protagonist, you know, I know why the story is focused on him, you know, why the story isn't, you know, as focused on Killua, because at the end of the day, it's Gon's journey, you know, not Killua's. Even though, you know, you do see a lot of Killua's growth as well, because they're together the whole time, you ultimately, you know, see why Gon is, you know, the focus main character other than Killua. And, you know, when you see things like that, you know, it really makes you think, about their character. I never once thought about Kirito's character. If I do think about him, I'm just thinking, how did this man get a harem? He ain't even that fine, bro. Like, I remove all this, I'm not gonna say that I'm fine, but, I don't say like Kirito's that much better looking than me. I'm just to be completely honest. I mean, enough of that. But seriously, I could think about Gon's character, throughout all the arcs, and how the story affects him, just as a side effect of the story itself. And that's what makes the protagonist feel real. That's what makes a great protagonist, compared to like Kirito, who's some whack. At least season one. I'm just gonna say season one, because I'd be honest, I do like his progressive. His progression, at least in, Alicization, at least. But, yeah, I think that's what, makes, a great protagonist, Also, how you see their motives is also important. Because Gon, he just wants to find his dad, but he gets thrown along. And, all of these things. And, him just being there affects him because of how they do it. I think that's cool as well. But also building up motives, Like, in SAO, you see Kirito, and you see him, transported to this RPG where you could die any day. And, the motive is just to survive and climb. So, why is he like this big, super shonen, ultra savior, Lord God, who like does whatever he can to save anyone? There's no reason for him to do that, And the thing is, you don't know why he does it, Like, why does he do it, Does he want to be seen as like this hero or something? They don't delve into this. Now, a good example of that is this dude right here, Naruto. Listen, from a young age, he's outcasted. The people in the village hate him. But the thing is, he wants to become Hokage, No matter what, he wants to become Hokage. And, eventually, it seems hopeless for him because he just seems like this brat who always misbehaves because he wants everyone's attention. But then, next thing you know, he gets help, from Aruka Sensei, man. And, he gets Team 7, he gets Uselessness, he gets Sasuke, he gets Kakashi. He gets the Hokage's help, the third. And all of a sudden, he sees, the culmination of all these people helping him. And, how he's been able to progress as a ninja because of it. He sees Jiraiya, and, because of it, all these characters going out, and supporting him and his dream to become Hokage, you see why he cares about the village so much. Despite the fact that they outcasted him, there are still people, in the village that were willing to help him and accept him. And eventually, everyone accepts him. Obviously, because he saved the village and, he went all sage mode and was like, and all that. But, at the end of the day, you can understand his motivations behind, wanting to do it. It began as like this selfish dream so people would respect him. But at the end of the day, he actually, ended up caring about the village. And, when I see his journey, and I'm not watching Boruto, I don't care what anyone says. I've seen some clips of it, and I don't think I like Boruto as a protagonist. Actually, I could probably use him as a bad example, probably. But, I don't know. I'm not going to judge too much because I haven't watched it. But from watching Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, you really see his progression, and just how much he matures, as a person, ultimately driven by his motive of wanting to become a Hokage, and how that changes him, and, how that motive, somewhat changes in reasoning towards itself, and, that's the type of stuff I really appreciate. So, I guess I've kind of been babbling on about this, but, hopefully one day I can make a much better, actually scripted video of this. But hopefully you understand why some people hate the protagonist in some anime, but love the protagonist in others. I think I gave, pretty well-known examples, you got SAO, Hunter x Hunter, and Naruto. So, hopefully people can understand that more, but honestly, I don't hate any of these anime, even SAO. I think it's bad, but, I kind of enjoyed it, especially the newer seasons. I think the newer seasons are much better, and, I love Hunter x Hunter and Naruto. Those are some of my favorite animes, but yeah, what do you guys think? What are some of your guys' favorite protagonists, or hated protagonists, I wonder what people think about this dude right here. I wonder what they think. Or, I guess, this is a more recent example, Yeah, if you're wondering, I can go Ultra Instinct. Shaggy taught me. So, yeah, square up. I'll go Ultra Instinct on you. I'm kidding. You won't stand a chance. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about today. This has been your boy Janto. And until next time, peace out. And as always, bless upon Rieri.